Hello everyone, it's Tess, and today's tip 415. Yep, I'm later in the day today, and I'm reading and listening to the Audible for Rich Dad, Poor Dad from Robert Kiyosaki, and I would highly recommend it if you haven't read it, but it made me think about something today, and that's hence the title of the tip, Owning the Book Isn't Enough. And the reason that kind of came to my mind is that several years ago, it's been many years, probably more than 10 years ago. Hi, Mary Lynn, good to see you. Probably more than 10 years ago, somebody came to me. I went to a friend's house and they had a psychic person or like some kind of a reader type person in their house. And hi, Joan, good to see you. And this person, unknown to everybody here, I've always loved books. My entire life, I have loved books, consumed by books. I used to wedge myself in my bedroom as a kid to read books. I've always had a passion for them. I worked in a bookstore and I did the children's story hours for a period of about 5 years. And during that time, they called me the two-bagger. I'd buy 2 bags full of books and I just accumulate them. I get it naturally because my mom is an avid reader. We have funny stories related to it. Hi, Joan, good to see you. But it made me think about something. At this party I was once, the reader, whoever it was that was at the party, walked up to me and said, I'm being told to tell you that owning the book isn't enough. You have to read it. And what that made me think about is I'm reading this Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and I was thinking about some stuff that Doc Villa said and that Chris Nagel says and that all these mentors and all these, hi, Teresa, good to see you. All these mentors keep telling us, and we hear the same message time after time. Sometimes I think people feel like alive. Sometimes I feel like I'm repeating the same thing. But I think that we start to own it. Hello, hello. We start to own it when we hear it and we start to see the pattern in it. And Doc V always says that what you've done isn't going to get you to the next step. You're going to have to change something. He's always telling us about changing. Chris has a pet phrase he always uses that it's what you think you know that just ain't so. So there's a lot of these things about we've all got to evolve to the next level. And even in this book, they're talking about that how things were done 20 years ago is different than now. How things were done 3 years ago is different because more people are remote workers now, more people are remote shoppers. Hi, Gina, good to see you. And so everybody, life is changing and even medicines are changing, but all parts of life are changing. And since life is changing, we have to change. We have to change by looking at what we're doing. You know, are we going to change our financial lives, our personal lives, our work lives? And I've been looking at all of the above during the past couple of years, and it's very exciting about how things are going to change. But it made me think about this book is more or less, and Chris, even Doc V, like I was in group with Doc V yesterday, and he even recommended that book too. But what it is that we have to always be open to learning. We have to always be open to doing things differently. I'll go live in Doc V's challenge group tonight, and he's going live in his free challenge group for the next few days. But if you do nothing more, take that message that you need to do something. If you want to change your life, if you want to hit a next level, if you want to do something differently, you have to change something that you are doing. I see a few more on, so hello, good to see you all. You have to change something that you have been doing. I don't eat the same way I did immediately out of surgery. I really am not even in the same world as the food that I ate before surgery. Even in this time at the beginning of when I came into this group with Doc V, my food has continually changed and even my preferences have changed, and I truly can eat food and recognize chemical tastes now. I would have laughed if somebody had told me that. But it made me think about that in the days when I was buying all the books. I was working a full-time job. I was tutoring students. I was working in a bookstore. I did all the things that this Rich Dad, Poor Dad is telling you not to do because that's how I groomed and how I learned. But I had a desire, I just could never materialize it. And I thought it was so funny when somebody said to me, owning the book isn't enough, you have to do something. It's the same thing with our weight loss journey, with our financial journeys, with our relationships. If something's not working, we have to take a step to change it. The other book that I think is the next book after or just before, I know Shan Murphy and I both read this book before Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And this is 3 Feet from Gold. And actually, the cool thing about this book is actually written by Greg Reed and Sharon Lecter, who were at Secret Knock in March when a lot of us were out there for that. But I guess my message today really is just simply, I know I said owning the book isn't enough. Knowing the information isn't enough. Doc V always says that if your mentor tells you to do something, you have to take a step. It may not be comfortable, it may not be pretty, but I'm sitting here right now today going, it's fearful for me of where I'd be if I hadn't taken the steps that I did when I got introduced to this group a couple of years ago. I truly, I've said this before, but I'd lost 116 pounds years ago, had a medical problem, gained it all back plus some, and then I had to go through this process, and now I'm 6 years out. The first time through, within a month, I'd started gaining weight back. I had done really well for about 2.5 years, but I was stagnant. I wasn't losing any more weight. When COVID hit, I got that fear back. I got the fear of gaining it all back again. And I knew that if I didn't do something, that I was going to be in trouble. And knowing how it went down when I felt that way the first time, I would have been in trouble if I hadn't done something different. So I am grateful. And I guess my message, just reiterating again today, is listening to the messages aren't enough. You don't have to do it forever. Do you remember what the first step you took when you joined the tribe was? Yep, I absolutely do. And Doc V has confirmed this too. I didn't realize that he feels this is important. I worked on my self-worth and my self-confidence. It was absolutely destroyed. I listened to I Am affirmations for 3 hours a day. I had them playing nonstop. I have journals where I write positive statements. Like this journal, it's called Pre-Paving. This is Zara Mahoon Unlimited. And I've been a part of her group for about 1.5 years now too. So even as Doc V says, I have several mentors, several groups of people who help me and guide me. But I do affirmations. I flip my phone around so it's feeling backwards. So the first thing I did was listening to YouTube I Am affirmations and getting the meditation and these positive statements, which are Zara Mahoon Unlimited. And she calls it pre-paving. And what I will do is I'll wake up in the morning and I'll say, Dear God, thank you for a brand new opportunity to enjoy life. I want my day to unfold with ease. I want good things to come my way. I want to remember to appreciate people, places, and things. I want to be good to myself and others, and I want to end this day feeling happy and satisfied. I want to remember at all times that all things are possible. That is an absolute direct quote. Please, Zara, if you're listening to this, don't get mad at me. That is directly out of her 40-day journal. If you are looking for that help in self-worth and self-confidence, that is one of the very first step on her daily journal that I do every day. Another step in her journal, which Doc V is in support of this too, is meditation. But for me, the very, very first thing I did when I joined Doc V's tribe is the I Am affirmations, 3 hours a day, all day long. That was before I connected with Zara Mahoon. It was the self-confidence. I had to get to a point where I believed that I could do it, because it's, as long as you feel you cannot do it, you won't do it, because and it's the same thing that we've heard before. What you think about, you draw to yourself. And there's a beautiful part of it too. Zara, when I've worked with Zara with the Unlimited group, Zara Mahoon, she's got millions of YouTubes out there and she's got lots of books, and I love that. Well, hello. I see a few more on, so thank you for being here. But I would highly recommend her books too, because I just love everything I've learned from her. I actually want to work on coaching with her too, for me to become a coach. But it was the confidence. And I said to Doc V one day that I think that the most important gift that I've given myself this past couple of years is self-confidence. And he said, self-confidence equals weight loss. So if you are struggling with self-confidence, or maybe you don't even realize, I wonder sometimes if I had some depression and I didn't know it, because I was always very hopeful and optimistic to everybody else, but never to myself. We beat ourselves up. So I'm wondering if I didn't have more issues than I ever owned up to, because I don't think we own up to them when they're ourselves. So if you are at that beginning point, and May is kind of a recommitment, an honesty month. Doc V is calling May an honesty month. Honestly look at what's going on in your weight loss journey and what are you going to do to change. So if you can't figure out why you're stumbling, maybe it is self-worth. And I used I am affirmations. I used meditations. I used these pre-paving journals. And that was the beginning of changing things, because once I got to a point where I started to feel better about myself, I was more open to hearing the advice. The advice Doc V gave me was something that even, he wanted me off of the protein shakes. I was one of those people that was so stuck to them that I wanted to drink 2 or 3 of them a day, even 3 years post-surgical. You don't need that anymore, not 3 years post-surgical. My medical team fully supported and said, if you want 1 a day, fine, but we don't want you on multiple shakes a day. You can't live on that for the rest of your life. We want you eating real food. I fought it. I think working on self-worth helped me to overcome and give myself a chance to change. So if you're struggling, try it and find the one area you can, whether it's I am affirmations, whether it's those statements, I want to have a good day, I want to feel good and happy, I want ease and flow. And again, these are all things that Zara Mahoon has given me in an unlimited journal. She has an unlimited journal, 40-day journal that we work on every day. And we repeat it. Every 40 days, we just repeat the 40 days again, and it just builds you stronger with confidence. And for those who haven't been around or haven't heard me, the reason I realized self-confidence was a big issue for me is one day I was listening to the I am affirmations, and I kept expecting there to be some hidden subliminal message. Zara is Z as in zebra, EHRA, Mahoon, MAHOON. Actually, I can show you. This is the unlimited journal I was talking about. Oh, I got it. Unlimited. Zara Mahoon. And this journal, she actually gives you a little story about each affirmations for the day. And then she, too, gives you tasks that you have to do every day. So I've done this journal with her about a year and 3 or 4 months now, too. So look for those things to make yourself feel good, because when you feel good, then you have the power to push yourself forward. And what I was starting to say before I grabbed that book is that when I was listening to the affirmations, I had it in my head that there was going to be some subliminal message. And I heard, I have enemies. I remembered what Doc V said about lean back, get back out of the curtain, really evaluate what just happened. And when I rewound that affirmation, it said, I have inner peace. And I had heard enemies. That's what told me I had issues with self-confidence and self-worth that I needed to work on. And once I started working on those, everything else started to fall into play. And I'm involved in more things, and so many more things have happened in a positive way in my life than I ever dreamed were possible 2 years ago. Life is more fun, it's more exciting, I'm very curious, and I can't wait to see what unfolds, because all the doors that I had closed years ago have started to open. And for you guys, I'd like to see the same. I won't keep you for too long. I just couldn't get on this morning. I had some running around I had to take care of. And I will be live in Doc V's group tonight, because he will be live in that free group for the next few days. So if you want another dose of me, who now just seems to not be able to shut up, come on over to the Doc V Transform Your Challenge group, and he will be live in that group the next few days. And take this chance to reach in, be really honest with yourself, and find something you can do for yourself, because everybody's worth it. And I think we all have some little magic thing inside of us that when we share will make the world better. It's not about being in lights, but it's about each of us reaching our hand to the person next to us and making the world better. And I want that for myself, and I want that for all of you. Have a beautiful evening, and some of you I may see in Doc V's Challenge group tonight. Thanks a lot, and have a great day.